It's an exciting time to work in event tech, event marketing. I'm really excited about all the changes that are ahead and all the great things. And there's never been more time to feel optimistic about the way things are going. So if you've had a tough time over the past year and a half, I think you can take heart knowing that you'll be at the forefront of a revolution and an advancement in this field. And it's going to be an awesome time to work in this amazing field.
So one of the hardest workers in advertising and experiential that I've ever known, I've known this guy half my life, is Justin Kramm, the voice of the Expo Maven and I Love Event Tech. You just heard him. And here we have him live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome.
Hi, great to see you, Joel.
Good to see you, Mr. Kramm.
Yeah,
and you're a veteran of many campaigns. I actually remember encouraging you when you said, I want to go to ad school, Miami ad school. And I said, that's a great idea. And I followed your career literally. Like I went to the office when you were an intern at Crispin Porter Bogowski and visited your San Francisco office when you were AKQA, which is an amazing office. You were right across from the stadium there. And I saw you at Dojo, and then you became an instructor at Miami Ad School, and I saw some of your presentations. So the student became the master, and you have all sorts of awards. I can't list them all. They probably fill a giant box. And I don't know, my internet seems to be slowing down here. I think too many people are playing video games. So where do I start with? Justin, since you're a master of event experiential tech, why don't you tell me what is like the best experiential activation you've done, and with an example of event technology?
I worked on a client called NVIDIA, and they're the world's largest producer of graphic cartridges. And they were coming out with a new gaming console, handheld, called the NVIDIA Shield, using their cartridges. And it was the first gaming console portable that used Android and had real-world, real-life controls. It wasn't this touchscreen thing. It was a classic controller. So we introduced it at this big gaming conference, and we wanted something special. So we created these T-shirts that had an icon that looked like the outline of the controller, and it was green. It was the same green that NVIDIA's brand color is. And then we gave out these T-shirts to people, and at first they wouldn't understand like the big idea of it. They would just see this shirt with this cool icon, but they didn't know the bigger story. And then when they walked into the gaming booth at this gaming conference, they would walk around and they'd see all these interactive mirrors. And then they'd look at the icon, the logo on their shirt, and all of a sudden they would see all this gaming footage. And they had never seen any of this footage before. It was the first time we released it. So these T-shirts came to life and showed them everything they could possibly see about the system. And it was a huge success, and it was produced by, the Dojo, the ad agency, did it, but it was a small interactive production company out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, funny enough, and they did a great job.
You've done TV commercials, a lot of copywriting, a lot of ads, right? I love your work. I hear it's on display in downtown Miami right now.
Yeah, we're big supporters. I work with a creative studio called Wondering Brains, and it's a think tank where we come up with fun ideas for side projects, just fun side projects and things that we are passionate about. And we're passionate about the city of Miami and luring tech talent to the area. So we created this campaign to help draw talent to Miami. The government of Miami, the city and county government, are huge supporters of the tech industry. So we wanted to create some headlines, some fun graphics, a great campaign to help lure talent to the area.
And I'm waiting the cafecito, what was it called? The cafe?
Oh, Cafe Comprende. Yeah.
Cafe Comprende, yes.
Yeah, well, I can't give away all the details, but we have a plan in the works to help, in a fun way, educate a lot of the new transplants to the area. A lot of these tech talent, they're here. We want to help them become accustomed to the great culture that's here, and a lot of that is coffee, a lot of it's food, and we want to help them learn how to order a coffee in Spanish, the proper way to order it, and also the proper way to drink it. I mean, you taught me a long time ago the colada, and what it's about. We call it the mothership. You buy this colada and then you pass it around to all your. It's a very collective cultural thing. It's fuels the creativity.
Becomes master. You've done amazing. I also want to mention that you're one of the few people I know that helped create a movie that Sports Illustrated called one of the best sports parodies ever. Maybe you can talk a little bit about Unflinching Triumph. It's a cult classic.
Unflinching Triumph I did with my agency AKQA. I worked on it with a team of other creatives, and it was funded by an Austrian energy drink company who funded it. They didn't want their name in the actual credits of the movie, and it was also produced with some other promotional partners. But it was called Unflinching Triumph, and it was the story of Philip Rockhammer, this young man's quest to become the world champion of the sport of competitive staring contests, like those things you had in the playground as a kid. This guy was part of a league called the National Association of Stare-Down Professionals, or NASP. So we created this hour-and-a-half documentary. We released it on YouTube, feature length, an hour and a half. It was the first film ever created for release on YouTube. This was 2000 and
ahead of its time. I'd like to say a lot of what you've done is ahead of its time. I like the work you did for AAA, which the Lake Mary headquarters are here in Florida, AAA Club, and you've done some billboards in San Francisco, some bus stops. You even came up with a sci-fi one that I wish had, shouldn't these things be flying by now? I thought that was also ahead of its time, which was great.
Yeah, I still want to run that if anybody has anything.
We'll work on that. We're going to work on that. Okay, I think you should apply that for Miami, but here and for the drones, because I know I have a lot of friends that are in the drone industry. So we'll talk about offline. But let's get back to the experiential event tech. I think there's one that you did, the digital. This is more web, but also ahead of the curve, because I thought about using it for a kiosk at trade shows, and it was the Get Clean. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that one, because I thought.
Come Clean was an interactive website created at Crispin, Porter, and Bogusky. It was a follow-up to the famous subservient chicken viral phenomenon.
My favorite.
Yeah, it was actually, you were the first person to send it to me. It was one of my favorite as well. I didn't personally work on it. I'm a huge fan of it. Hugely influential in the.
Oh, they had the Vader one too.
Yeah, they were creating that, I think, when I was there as well.
Yeah.
And
when Joanne was there, I think they did that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was in the office for that.
Method is an awesome company. They created Method, the soap company. Chris and Porter created the tagline "People Against Dirty," and that was cause marketing before it was cool. But to make people feel good about their cleaning products that are under their sink, not hide them under the sink. Put them up on the counter. Feel good about it. Feel good about the ingredients. Know that they're safe. So we created this campaign called Come Clean, where you would go to this website, confess your sins, and you would be absolved of your sins by a voice of God, a woman, of course, and you would see the text on your hand washed away in the sink, symbolizing how you've come clean for the new year. It was also for the new year. You want to confess all your old sins, get a fresh, clean start. I worked on that campaign as an intern along with a team of other people, and then 3 months later, that won Cannes Lion Grand Prix at Cannes. It was a huge help for my career, but just a fun.
Yeah, you really have too many awards. They're like paperweights around your house. I can't stand it. I'd like to say you've been the voice of the Maven for 20 years. Some of our collectively, the videos have over 13 million views where you make the intro. You're the voice for I Love Event Tech, by the way, guys, if there's any listeners here. So I think you have a great a voice for voiceover. You do a lot of parody songs, which I think are funny, and comedy songs. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because they're under different names.
Yeah, I mean, I've written a lot of different jingles for different ad campaigns, but I've also written country music songs for fun, also as a side project. just to keep fresh. I created a country music song for a bus service out of California, and I'm also on TikTok. I have a character called COVID Man, who sings about the travails of life, sad country songs, emotional about how COVID has really disrupted his plans for life, as it has for all of us.
Before I forget, because we're running on time here, I also want to plug your website again. It was Wondering Brains, and you work with your wife, who I think is an amazing creative, who used to run the CNET website, right? I mean, she's done some amazing work.
Yeah, she did a lot of the advertising for CNET website, GameStop. So she's also worked a lot in video game advertising, and she designed the award for Yahoo Fantasy baseball, for CBS, not Yahoo, CBS Sports Fantasy Baseball, and the champion of the league would get this bobblehead, and she designed the bobblehead, which is a coach, and she created a series of 5 of them because they needed them for 5 years, and I thought that was a really cool project.
I'm just the amount of work that you guys have done, the amount of creative work is amazing. You both have very interesting and unique careers. And it says a lot about you that you guys work on this together. So I love what you guys are doing collectively for the city of Miami. I think that's amazing. And especially now that events and event technology is coming back, I hope some of our listeners, because we're on Spotify, Apple, we're on all the streaming platforms with EventSpeak. So I would hope they visit your website. It's going to be scrolling at the bottom. And if you guys need some advice, some creative advice, definitely check these guys out because they're super creative. Justin, any last words for the world of event tech now that we're going back to live in person? I hope to see you soon in the real world. We haven't seen each other in like a year, but any last words of advice?
Yeah, I think that the event tech world was really knocked down during COVID, but it's roaring for a comeback. It's more than a comeback because it's going to go beyond any place it was before. It's an exciting time to work in event tech, event marketing. I'm really excited about all the changes that are ahead and all the great things. And there's never been more time to feel optimistic about the way things are going. So if you've had a tough time over the past year and a half, I think you can take heart knowing that you'll be at the forefront of a revolution and an advancement in this field, and it's going to be an awesome time to work in this amazing field.
And if you need a good idea, make sure to check out JustinKramm.com. He's one of the more creative guys I've met in this life. Guys, thank you so much, and thanks for listening. And Justin, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn too, Justin Kramm on LinkedIn. Be happy to connect with you. I'm always interested in connecting with great people that are part of the event tech community. Appreciate it, Joel.
All right, buddy.